Okay, we are back. Got some people popping in. Got some more. Be able to get another 4 or 5 hour stretch here. Right now, I've got an open 9-ball match for you. Arturo Beretta versus Chuck Knapp. All right, I think we've got Chuck at the table here. Welcome back, those that are popping in. All right, ball in hand for Chuck on the 2. Okay, just had some discussions going on there with the tournament director, Ira.
Hey, we have a guy in front of us who does that.
I'm just telling him who I was talking with. Big man, Ira. Yeah, I just went back on the All right, dry break there. Shot at the 1, 2 in the cluster. Lined up parallel with the 9. Possible carom available. I will say this is an open class match. So it's a little different game than what we have seen earlier from Scott, and Jeremy, and Pedro. Kim, hello, Kim. I do have commentary going on right now. Just came back on. Getting some matches that'll be coming up here as soon as there's opponents available. Got Greg Sheffert waiting on an opponent. It'll be either Scott Hargins or Jake Vanderwall versus Greg Sheffert coming up. Right now, I believe we've got Arturo at the table. Got the 2, 3's right there. Got the 4 and the 6 tied up when we get to that spot. In the right angle to make the combos. Really limited by that 8 ball. We'll see how they handle that when they get there. All right, nice shot there. About to find out what we're going to be looking at for the 4. Yeah, I don't think he's got the angle he needs. That 8 did end up getting him. Yeah, that did get him. All right, might be looking ill here. We got Arturo coming back up to the table. Not sure how much of the 4 he can see. Everything else is pretty open. And it did drop. 7 to the 8 will be the real tester here. And here it is. Looks like he's going to go forward. That's going to be tough. I ended up with more of a punch shot than follow. Oh, nice bank there. There's this going to close it out? That closes it out. Nice job, Chuck.
Attention please, for all the big gamblers in the room. We are raffling a Pearson by Jacoby $2,200 cube. So all the big gamblers in the room, we're only going to sell 21 tickets. It's $100 a ticket, and we're going to sell 21.
All right, getting the information up here for the Jeremy match. We're going to get switched over to Jeremy versus Miga. Miga, I'm not sure.
21 tickets for this limited edition. There's only 5 queues ever needed. And you can choose between number 2.
Let's see what the score is on that.
Go to the near Pearson booth.
Looks like Miga is up 2-1. And with the break. Try to zoom in on the far table here for you with Jeremy and Miga. Is it Miga or Mega? I don't know. Somebody can let me know. All right, 3 leads to the 4. 4 looks like it's going to have to be off the rail, off the 7. But it lays up good for that. Decided to. All right, so now we're going to see how he's going to get to the 4. It is pretty sharp. He's got the option of going towards it if he wants to. Or he's playing for the combo. All right, the 4 can go over. In fact, the 4 is going to go towards the bottom rail. Let's see if he puts pace on it to bring the 4 back out. About the cue ball over with it. Yeah, I'm trying to control it. It does have a shot at getting a good safe here. It should be pretty basic kick for Jeremy. But the hard part is if you want a shot on that 5, you're going to have to hit it hard. So I don't know that he's looking to make it. Seeing what will happen when he comes off that second rail. We're trying to play it off the second rail. Just like that. Now that I'm looking at the stream, I was looking from the head of the table down. Now that I'm looking at the stream, he's seeing where that carom Knocking the 4 into the, looks like the 8's there. All right, here we go. Jeremy's got his plan. Kicking 2 rails into the 4. Did hit it firm, and it was going to be tough to have a look at the 5 ball. But he have a chance for something to happen. I don't think Jeremy's going to like this shot any better. Stick him on the back side of that 6, knock the 4 away. Came closer to making it than he was comfortable with. All right. Is the one kick, one rail kick available? Be interesting to see just how close he is on that. Let's take a look if we can. There's a little gap. All right, Jeremy lining up. Couple options. It's real tough from where he's at. Going 4 rails here. Or is he coming behind the 5-2 rails? Boy, it's hard to see a path back to this one. Good hit, and then hope something good happens. Well, it's pretty close considering where he was at. That was a real good attempt. He was in a tough spot. I don't see any problems here. 6 to the 8. You got to make sure you get good on that. Not that it's a problem, but it does have to be. It is a shot that has to be made. Unless there's plenty of room under the 9. From here, it's hard to tell. Okay, now looks like we're moving furniture. Unless he can get past there. I just landed a little funny. Draw into it and make sure to knock it away. Or thin by it. Yep, he's real worried on how that was going to come out of there. Another chance for Jeremy. Don't see any issues here. 6 to the 8, coming inside, going up 2 rails, and just like that, 3rd rail used. Jeremy's going to lock this up at 2 apiece. Well, that's a little funnier than he wanted. A little funnier than he wanted. I don't see an issue, but definitely not what he was hoping for. You see it go right down that line. Got it. All right, 2 apiece. Still waiting on a opponent for Greg. Greg Sheffert coming up. His opponent's going to be Jake Vanderwall or Scott Hargins. Right now, Scott Hargins is up 6-5 in that match. So any time now should have an opponent for Greg. All right, now Jeremy breaking in this match. Let me make sure the B-side matches are also 7. Yes, these are still races to 7. Jeremy and Miga is a B-side match. Oh, nicely done there. I do think he left him, he did leave him the edge to work with. Jeremy seeing where that's lined up. Well, you're not getting behind it. And you can only see the edge of it. I was hoping for a little more love from the cue ball. Wanted to get behind that 7-4, I believe. Now Mr. Aroha with the 1-2, same end of the table. You have to find an up table pocket or a combination for the 3. And it will be Scott Hargins. That is a winner side Final Four match coming up. Scott Hargins versus Greg Sheffert. Now, I am going to say I'm a bit surprised that I have not seen Mr. Bob Andrews popping up in the chat. I mean, I was about to say maybe he's working, but yeah, you know, when you work 3-4 hour days a week, chances are one of those hours aren't happening right now. All right, tough layout here. What are you going to do with the 3? From where that cue ball sits, I don't know that 3-6 is on. It's definitely not easy. Is he going to try to just get distance here? He was able to get the 6. Nice, had to draw into it. Long shot now on the 3. All right, what do we got now? I got the a little bit of a cut here on the 3, full table. Nicely done. That's a real good shot there from Jeremy. Gave himself something to swing at here. To pocket that ball and get shape on it for the combination with the 8 or down table is going to be tough. He did very well to get there. Go. I believe we're going to try to bank it in. No, he did lay up, gave him a peek. Oh, I missed it. Missed the ball. Ball in hand coming up. All right, and here we go. We've got Greg and Scott coming up. Looks like Jeremy's going to finish up game number 5 for a 3-2 lead. Jeremy with the 9-ball in the corner. Got it. 3-2 Jeremy. Scott and Greg should be starting here shortly. Scott just got done with his match, taking a minute. All right, Miga with the break here. All right, so before we get started on the Scott and Greg stream, going to take a break off the commentary. Be right back. All right, I have been able to return to the commentary. We've got a great match right here. Scott and Greg. Well, is on the center table. Jeremy's up 5-3. Both a race to 7. Bank almost. The jump bank just about dropped. Scott back to the table with the 1-game lead. Jeremy on the far side looks like he's kicking at the 1. Trying to get separation. Lost a little focus there. Came back. Scott now on the 5, drawn back for the 7. Wants it to slow down. Use the angle to come all the way down for the 8 inside. And Scott looks like he's ready to take a 4-2 lead. Got it. With the break here in game number 7.
In the last shot, why did he use bottom? Use top. Right up to the. Here it is. Here's where his ball was. Here's the cue ball. Why did he use bottom? Bring it back into this one. I mean, he made it, but still.
Yeah, drawing it over to the rail. It's pretty common.
Right. But even then, use a little bit of top. It's going to go up to the short rail. Back down to the.
Yeah.
I mean, to each their own, I guess.
All right, Scott coming up with the break. When it's working, it is working. We're about to see if it's working. Wiping some lipstick off the cue ball, probably. All right, watch him scatter. 2 or more down, right here. Or maybe exactly 1 down. With a shot. If the 2 passes the 3, he's looking great. If not, he may have to play shape on the other side. I don't know what kind of angle he's got. Looks like the 2 must go the way he's queuing up on the 1. That definitely passed. Seen a much more confident Scott than we saw in the opening match, but again, the 9 a.m. start time, first match of the tournament. Generally, it's not going to look the same as once you've got 30 games or so under your belt. Let's see if we do 1 or 2 rail shape here. Looks a little steep for the 2 rail. Very nice. Greg has seen enough on that. I think that's 4-2. Thought I had updated that earlier. Did not. Let's take a look. All right. 5-2 Scott. My apologies. Scott. Scott got the last 3. All right, Greg, nice break, but did not get a good offensive look at the 1 ball. All right, need to update Jeremy and Miga score. That is 5. Guess that is 5-3. I guess it is updated. Okay. Unless there's another one to get recorded. Scott taking flight. Or is he just swerving around it? Oh, nice shot. How's he going to keep the pressure on? Bank the 3. I'm sorry, the 2. Bank the 2. Looks like he'd have to tighten it up. As far as blockers go, you've only got a couple individual balls to hide behind if you chose the safe, so I might just be going with separation. Sending the object ball 2 rails to the top rail is hindered by that 4 ball. Could send it 1 rail to the top rail. Play it flat, bring the cue ball back 2 rails. Try to get under that 5. Might be too much movement. Let's see what he's got here for us, Scott. What have you got? Went for the 1 rail bank, hoping for a little 2-way. Hoping was to get behind that 5. has left an opportunity. Oh. Oh, that is unfortunate. Those side pockets get hungry. No doubt about that. All right, looks like we are moving on. Game number 8. Nope, somebody just hasn't marked their game yet. Thank you. Thank you, Faith. I appreciate the update. And looks like we got 5-2. Maybe it is 6-2. Scott, but they have not updated that yet. All right, Scott with the break. And he is up 6-2. Got one down, nothing real aggressive on that one ball, nothing real offensive. 3-ball combination is not looking great. Let's see what he does here. Maybe carry him off the 1 in the 6-5 combo. Oh, that would have been a nice safe. Caught just a piece of that 5. Otherwise, he would have been behind the 6-8. All right, it'd be tough to hold for the 4 here. did it. Now just got to avoid the 5 to the 6. Let's see what he's going to do here. Maybe he's just going to take care of the 5 now. Combo looks available, but not real great. Got to cut that 6 into the 8. Jeremy looking to get on the hill on the center table. Scott checking out the combo here. Trying to see where they may land once they come to rest. He's got a put a pretty good cut on the 6. Cue ball's probably heading towards that 9. Oh, not at all. He didn't have nearly what I thought he did, but now he's got a cut. I thought he had to cut that 6. Jeremy missed the back cut. Does Miga have the 7 ball? I don't think so. I think he can see it. I think he's definitely got a piece of it. Let's see what Scott's got for us here. That's not what he was looking for. I think he knew he was likely to give up a piece, but he didn't want to give up the whole thing. Well, looks like he's got a shot at the combo now. I don't know what else you're going to do here. For the match. Oh, denied. So close. That must have been 5 rails, all within the pocket. Looked good when he hit it. All right, still alive, Greg. Still 5-4 over there with Jeremy's match, Jeremy and Miga. All right, Greg looks like he's going to have a chance at this rack. Ball down, open look at the 1. 2 is available. Everything's open until you get down to the 6 ball. See if he comes out center table or a little above it for the 3. Center table or a little above it for the 3. All right, so 5 to the 6. I don't think he's got to move any furniture. He can get between the 9 and the 6. Cut the 6 back into the pocket. Where's everything going to land after that? That's the question. Did he catch an angle here to move some furniture? I don't think you're going to. Yeah. I don't think you wanted to move the furniture there. I'll just draw back far enough to get a clean shot on the 6. All right, and here's the shot. Oh boy, how'd the 8-9 land? I don't think he's got a pocket shooting straight at it. I think he's got to bank the 8 or bump it. He's checking. Jeremy on the hill in the on center table. Let's take a look. Oh, clean. No question. Scott with the win. That'll put him playing for the hot seat against either Randy or George. Randy Hansen or George. Whoops. Changed the wrong 6 to a 7. Get a little closer look at the McHugh and Aroha. All right, Jeremy looking at the kick. So right now, if this is an abuse of power, not that I have any power, but you know, I am on the mic here. So if this is an abuse of power, well, so be it. But if anybody that's within the arena is listening and has a toothpick, I will gladly give you some free jukebox cards. If somebody's in the arena that's listening and watching and has a toothpick, I'm dying here. Jeremy, very much alive on the hill, but kicking right now.
Do not read that thing I sent you right now. Read that in private.
exhibition players, we've got 9 tickets left of a big baller raffle. So all the gamblers in the room, we are raffling a $2,100 Jacoby cube. There's only 5.
All right, Jeremy back at the table.
1 to 5. You can choose which number you want.
Full table cut here.
It's the high roller raffle. 21 tickets, $100 a ticket. You can pay cash, credit card, or PayPal. 9 tickets left. Got to check this queue out.
All right, if he makes this, he should have it wide open from here.
A 1 in 20 chance to win a $2,000, $200 cube.
Nice shot, Jeremy. Looking good to get out from there. So you have an angle to drop on the other side of the table for the 4. All right, there we go. Got our view back. Wants it off the rail. All right, just about ready to finish this off. If that 6 is off the rail, I think we're looking at the final few shots here. All right, pull it back for the 6. I imagine the 7 and 9 are going to opposite corners on the same end of the table. This will be Jeremy McHugh moving on if he can complete these last 2 shots. And there it is. That should do it. All right, Jeremy moving on. Scott Hargins moving on. We'll get back to some matches here in just a moment.
Interesting. Appreciate it. What are you drinking? I'll bring you a beer later.
All right, we are looking at a hill match right here. 6-6 in a race to 7. Got Jasper Kruger versus Jake Vanderwall. Hill elevation. Going for the 1. Got the good hit. Giving up the table, but going to make him earn it through what remains. Tough opener. I'm trying to decide what he wants to do here. Does it go past the 2, or is he back cutting it to his right-hand side? He's going for the, oh, nice shot. Should still have the 2. To the 4 to the 5. I think that 5's wide open to go into the side there. Again, Hill in a race to 7. This is a B-side match, so winner's still alive. Loser waits for the next event. Well, it's looking good now. Should give him a very easy 9-ball for the match. Always make him shoot it. And there it is. All right, here's a look at the Jeremy McHugh and Jack Kraft match. All right, Jeremy's going to try to contain here. Try to get distance, bring that 5 back, or the cue ball probably back around to where he is now. Nice placement on the 5. Makes for a tough full table cut. Good news is, if you make that 5-ball, chances are you've got the match wrapped up. Okay, well, it needed to be a little better on the 6 for it to be done. Good chance here. Oh, hit it thick. Oh, this could be just the opportunity Jeremy needs. Jeremy is up 1-0 in this match. All right, he's in a good spot here. Going to be up 2-0. Let's see what we got coming up. Got Joseph Hull versus Jake Vanderwall coming up. We are looking at a race to 7 here. Let's get some names and scores up on this one. Jeremy and Jack Kraft. All right, 2-0 Jeremy. Looking at a jump. Got the good hit. Looks like he's going to get good shape as well. Leaving a kick shot or a jump shot. Randy Hansen in the semifinal playing George Walters up 6-5. Scott Hargins awaiting the winner to play for the hot seat. It's not a table I'm able to see. I just looked up at the score. Checking out the bracket, and I do see here that Randy Hansen is up 6-5 on George Walters. That's the winner's side of the Masters. We've also got Joseph and Jake. Joseph Hull and Jake Vanderwall playing, just getting underway. Got Jeremy Block, Jeremy Goodner. Jeremy Goodner up 5-4 in that race to 7. Let's take a look at some other stuff here. How about the intermediate 9-ball final bracket? Final 4 side, we've got Derek Havel versus Hardy Klimish and Shane Seville versus Eric Sweezy. Those are the last 4 on the winner's side in the intermediate 9-ball. Women's Masters, Jessica Frieders and Hunter Doyle are scheduled to play for the hot seat. Also still alive, Belinda Tips, Susie Musel, and Amanda Kuhl. Back to this match, it is 2-0. All right, so coming up soon, we will have the hot seat match. Scott Hargan versus Randy Hansen. All right, that is still 2-0. Jeremy and Jack. Match has been called, Randy and Scott Hargins. Gonna take a quick break here before they get going. We'll have that match for you shortly. Okay, I am back. Certain we've got a score change in the Jeremy Jack match. Jeremy is up 3-0. All right, Randy and Scott getting ready to play here for the hot seat. Do believe that is this is familiar territory for both of them. All right, trying to get just the right rack. That is often a challenge at these tournaments where we're playing on tables that travel around, get set up and torn down regularly. Tell you, the equipment really is good for this kind of environment. But this kind of environment with 100, 100, I don't know what they've got, 150 tables. Does make for some variables, we'll say that. Yeah, I actually tried to play in a couple racks of 9-ball on that table right there. And yeah, that one was not staying connected to the balls behind it. Seemed like no matter what I did, but I was just playing around, so didn't really get me much when he had busted them up anyway. And Randy's taking the same approach, going to bust him up anyway. He's definitely not happy with how it looks. Here we go for the hot seat. Randy Hansen versus Scott Hargins. From the right side. One just under that side pocket. 7 finds the corner. There's a shot at the 1. 2 is near the rail. Pretty much right on the rail near that side pocket. Cutting the 1 to his left. Makes for tough shape onto the 2. Yeah, coming off that 5 would have given him shape. 1 did not drop though. Scott now probably looking for Good place to hide this cue ball. Might just bank the 1 away and roll that cue ball right up behind the 4. All right, nicely done. We're going to send the cue ball into the 1, sending the 1 near the 9. 9 ball is a funny game where funny things happen. I don't think he's playing it to try to make the 9 ball. Just one of the benefits of kicking your object ball towards it. You don't want to make sure, you do want to make sure it's not sitting in the pocket though if you move it. All right, made things a little more crowded there. 8 and the 9 now has a 3rd joining the party, the 5 ball. Scott going to be jacked up, trying to get to the 1 here. Pocketing the 1 and getting shape on the 2 makes this pretty difficult. He's got the top of the cue ball. I do believe he can hit the side rail between the 6 and that side pocket. Also maybe going into the 6. Whatever he's got, it's nothing easy. Still 3-0 on the other table. Well, it looks like that is what he's trying to do. Oh, he's trying to cut the 1. Having a good laugh over that one, that's for sure. The only way that that shot played, right? Well, when you get a roll, you get a roll. That's for sure. Scott got one right there. All right, Jeremy letting Jack back to the table. Randy trying to find an angle. Then again, aren't we all? All right, a little bit of spin here to get to that 1. A little too much juice in that Jamba. Well, lots of work to do on this rack here. At what point are you going to try to pop that 5 out of there? Get the 1 to the 2. So it's going to be with the 2 or the 3. I don't think you want to run into that going from the 2 to the 3. Get stuck right behind it. What he's thinking about right now. All right, let's see what he's going to do here. Well, I think he's going to try to bump it off the 3. And that's going to make for a tough 4 ball. Well, if that was his plan, it may have just changed. Now, if he's going to bump the 5 open, he's probably going to do it off of the 4 ball. Unless the 5-9 bank is dead, why not? From where I'm sitting, it does not look like he's got an angle to get a bump on that 9 or 8. Come up above the 4. Okay, he's going into it here. Try to go over to the side rail and come back into the 8. Unless he's just going right at the 8. Oh, beautiful. That is originally what I thought he would do, but then the way he looked at his line, I thought he was coming off the side rail back into it. Go back and forth here. All right, should be game number 1 for Scott. Nice safe there from Jack. Oh, Scott. Well, did not see that coming. Correction, game 1 to Randy. Still 3-0 over there on the middle table. Scott found a satisfactory rack in a much quicker time there. It is racking tough. I do know that. All right, 1 ball looks nice and pretty. Got a ball down, shot at the 1. Things are in the open. 1 to the 2 to the 3. Yeah, I got to go up and back, up and down table a couple of times. But everything is open. Looks like Jack got one up on his side. 3-1 in that match. Nice shot there from Scott. So he's just going back and forth, 4 to the 5, 5 to the 6. It's the 5 to the 6 that can get you in a little bit of trouble. Seeing right now exactly where he wants for the 5. Let's see what he's going for here. As far as getting a line on the 5 that gets him to the 6. That's the key here. Wants to get good on this 6 to make it natural to get to the 8. Let's see if he goes 2 rails here. Just going 1. Yeah, a little bit of a smirk, but it should be good. Looks like he's got an angle where he's going to pop it to the other side. There you go, Scott. This should even things up at 1 each. All right, Randy. See if he can get a rack he likes this time. Definitely fought the battle that first game. Trying to get a rack that he liked. Jeremy looks like he's going to get back to a 3-game lead here. All right, 4-1 Jeremy in the middle table. Randy with the break. Got a ball down. Got to look at the 1, but nothing offensive. It's off the rail just a little bit. Let's see if he tries to utilize that 2-ball up table as a blocker or come all the way back down table. And clipping the right side of the 1, coming around 2 rails where it would drop under the 379 would be a great shot if the 2 wasn't there. So let's see what he is doing. I think he thought he could miss it. Tough action getting from the 1 to the 2 here. Nice break, great layout there from Jack on center table. All right, nice shot there from Scott. Get him close so he can really control the cue ball here. Let's see what he's trying to do. Might be utilizing the 8 here. Just drop on the back side of it. Just like so. Randy's probably going to follow that same line right back out. He's going 1 rail into it. He's going to want to hit it in a way that brings that cue ball hard enough off the side rail to come back towards either the 8 or the 9-7. Send the 2 up table. Yeah, he wanted that cue ball to go back towards the 8 ball, or even lay between the 8 and the 9. Left Scott with a combo here. The 5 rail Swiss shot from Jack Kraft. Might have been a 3 rail. I only caught the tail end of it. A ring around the rosy. Ball fall in the holesy. Scratch from Jack. All right, nice control there from Scott, leaving the 2 open for the side pocket as well. The 3, this will be interesting. What do we got going with the 3? The 2 is still kind of sharp. He's only going to be able to do so much with the cue ball. Is he trying to get all the way down table, shoot the 3 up table? Might be what he was trying. I'm not sure. Jeremy coming up a little short on his shape for the 8 ball, center table there. Checking the stick, make sure it's still there. It is. All right, 9 ball's in great shape for Jeremy. He's just got to put a stroke on this and make it. Scott's still thinking about what he's doing. There we go, nicely played. Nicely played from Scott. Jeremy missed that 8. Great chance here for Jack. Could have been 5-1 right there. Instead, he could be looking at 4-2. Far better. Randy looking for an angle. See if he can go 1 rail into it. Two rail kick here for Randy, maybe 3. Careful with the side pocket there. Wow, definitely was going 2. Good try. Don't want that sitting up pretty. Well, not going to be anything to go for early. So pretty or not, it's available. 3, 4, 7, 8. Looking good for Scott to get game number 3 here. Jeremy and Jack. That should be 4-2 Jeremy. And pop out to center table. Probably coming back up to center table here. Right in line with that 7-9. Well, a little follow forward. We're looking at a 2-1 lead here for Scott. I don't want to call it too soon, though. Last time I called him out game number 1, he missed a 6 ball. No matter how easy it is, you still got to make it. Interesting question for you pool players. What's been more impressive? Your worst miss or your best make? Which was more impressive? Your worst miss or your best make? Or which was more unbelievable? Let's go with that. Impressive definitely has a lean to it. Most impressive. Or most most surprising. Your best make or your worst miss? Carry a lot of the same attributes, am I right? Your best make and your worst miss? Both leave you dumbfounded. Yeah. All right, 2-1 Scott. Let's get that score updated. Yeah, there's usually pockets here and there. Yeah, that might be interesting later tonight or later tomorrow night. Find a good matchup for the stream guy with the guest commentators or commentator. Once the tournament ends and the matches begin to pop up here and there. If you're in the building, something to think about. Jeremy thinking about this rack on the center table there. Trying to jump for the 3. Scott playing conductor. Wave of the hand. Jeremy, a jump of the ball. Nicely done. Didn't enough to cut, but probably, well, yeah, he was trying to cut. Oh my goodness. I think I just saw a little throw up. Wow. That is one heck of a 9-ball. Scott did not see that one going that way. Best make, but you have a lot of both. Yeah, that we do. Missed. Ooh. Missed with ball in hand. Tom, oh, nothing makes you feel better, does it? Yeah, your best make and your worst miss have a lot of similar attributes, no doubt about it. Let me double check that Jeremy score. Yep, it is 4-2. All right, Randy and Scott, game number 5 right here. Wow, rolled it back just far enough to make an easy shot for Scott. Getting to the 2, though, can be tricky. I don't think he'll try to come too far down table, checking to see exactly how it's sitting. That definitely matters on these kind of shots. So the risk here is coming back at it and getting too steep in line with it instead of staying on this side of the table. It's pretty open from this side of the table though. Just catch it thin. Probably trying to hit it as thin as he can with a touch of inside. Not a lot of pace. Looks like we got Joseph Hull and George Walters starting. We'll check in on some of that action. I was looking at the George match there, missed what Scott did with the one ball. But he definitely got great shape off of it. Come back up for the three. Whoa, Nelly. Okay. Guess he's shooting it out of the jaws. Changes the cueing just a little bit here. George with a little bit of funny cueing himself right here, up over the ball. This is result after a combo. Yeah, tough shot there. That is game number 1 between Jeremy and Joseph Hull over there. Steady cue here. Nice and smooth. I think the 4 passes. If the 4's got most of the pocket, he'll definitely just go for the 4. Oh, is he going for the 9? I'm a little surprised. Maybe the 4's doesn't have as much of a pocket as I thought. George on the 4, it looks like. That'll hold up nice. Looks like a 5-7, 8-9 finish, game number 1. Randy on the 4 ball.
Attention players, you still need to sign up for the Scotch doubles event happening tonight. You have about 20 more minutes.
That is 1-0 now. George Walters on the far table. Joseph Hull ready to break. Randy coming back out center table for the 9. Scott concedes. Yeah, some funny cueing there on Georgia's side led to that miss. The hat has come off center. We are in trouble now. George is coming. Right now, though, Randy on the break. I'm not sure if we can see a piece of the 1 or not. Well, I guess that was Scott breaking a minute ago. Took me a minute to figure that out. Looks like Randy may be choosing to take this on despite being hooked. George with a 2-0 lead there. And he is taking the push on. Good probability of getting safe here. And try to hit this and put the 1 and the cue ball on opposite sides of that 2 and 3. Well, didn't sell out, but definitely left the edge and should give him an opportunity here. Scott should be able to do something that's going to hide and leave Randy tough. Just like that. Oh, they never like to see the 1 going towards that 9 ball. Not sure if Randy's a jumper or a kicker. All right, Jeremy with another game. George has 2 here. Let's get that updated. Joseph Hull. Well, gave him a piece of the 3. Let's see what he does with it. Scott got a piece of that 1. Thin cut. Oh, did not get what he wanted. Wanted that 1 and Q. Blocked by the 3-5 or 2. Thought he'd be putting that 1 ball closer to the bottom rail center diamond.
Attention players, we have the winner of the $1,600 Dave Pearson raffle package, blue tickets. You get a limited edition queue, a 3x5 case and a jump rig. If you have an area code of 563, you're a winner. Blue tickets, Jake Shaw.
Tough break there from Randy.
Anybody knows Jake Shaw?
It could have gone well. Did not have to get blocked there. And the outcome was never for certain, but it certainly could have gone a lot better than that. Expect this kick to be very close, if not in the hole. Scott always in the finals. Are you saying he's like the Buffalo Bills of the 80s? Three, 2. Yep, that's what I have for Scott and Randy. 3-2.
Are you just reading a ticket number? Who reads that?
All right, let's see what we got for the 3 ball here. Let's just try to roll the cue ball up on the 8 maybe. Oh. Just a little off the mark there. Randy could play a good 2-way here, try to bank the 3 in, leaving the 4, and using the 6 and 8 as blockers, or just play the straight up safe, or the straight up bank. Jeremy missed that 9 ball. Ready to make it 6-2. Instead, Jack's got the opportunity here to make it 5-3. All right, Scott's turn up at this table. Him and Randy discussing something. All right, does he go up table, cut it, bring the cue ball back towards the 9? Or does he bank it and leave the carom? What's George got going on over there? Looking for the kick bank, no go. Long tough shot now for Joseph, but right here we've got Scott. Looks like he's drawn straight back. Oh, that is not what Scott was looking for. He definitely had a couple of good rolls earlier. That one was not. Randy got one of those back. Should be a pretty simple little carom here. Still got to hit it right, but should be okay. And 3-3. That is 5-4 now in that Jeremy Jack match. Missed one earlier, 5-4. Jeremy up over Jack Kraft. Right here, Randy and Scott playing for the hot seat, tied up. And then on one of the center tables here, we've got Joseph Hull and George Walters. 2-1 now. George is up 2-1. Let's get that updated. What's George going to do here? He's trying to get that cue ball back under the traffic. A little two-way. We're just straight banking it. What do we got? Got the bank coming down. That was a great shot. Great shot, George. All right, going from the 2 to the 4 here. 4 is right over the side. You see right there. As long as he's anywhere center table, should be good. Randy just scratched on the break. It was looking nice. Let's see what Scott does with this. All right, here's what Scott's looking at. This is a scratch on the break from Randy. Scott will have ball in hand here. Let's see, we got the 2 to the 3 to the 4. Yeah, don't really see any issues here. If you got the wrong angle on the 6, you'd have to come with a little bit of a shot, but nothing too major. Will make things much easier, though, if you get on the correct line here on the 6. Scott making sure that he had a 2-rail shot so he could come into the angle of the 6, but I think went over just a little further than he wanted. Instead, he tightened it up. Yep, 6 to the 7. Now what do we got? Could Z-bank the 6 to the center of the bottom rail, pull the cue ball back, tie it up on the rail of the 7. Well, kind of like so, but not exactly. I think he was trying to play it cross side, but mainly playing the cue ball. Randy really no choice but to go for the combo here. Or just tuck in the 6 behind the 9. Take that route. Now what are we looking at? Tough layout here. 7, 8, 9. What does George's layout look like on that side? This is off of George's break. I'm not sure if he's got a clean look at the 1. I think he does. Randy's almost in the spot to, you just have to go for the bank.
Ladies and gentlemen, final call for Scotch doubles tonight. If you want to play Scotch doubles, come on out to the lobby. We'll get you signed up. It is $40 a team, $20 per person. You have just a few minutes to come get signed up.
All right, what's Randy going to do for us here? Oh, played that great. And the 7 is going to sit up. Is it going to give him an angle to get to the 9? I'd like to stay near that rail. All right, let's see where he gets coming back for that 9. Yeah, that was going to be tough. If that cue ball had stayed real close to that rail or on the rail, would have made it far easier to get back for that 9 ball. Tough cut here. It's tough to miss it on the pro side and overcut it too. Oh, what a great shot. All right, George was coming back down table to drop short side on the 3, caught the knuckles, left him there. How's it gonna look? Not sure if he got him hooked. (3-1) George. right, George on the far table. I'm trying to get a setup where we can see both of these. We'll say the George one being center table, harder to get a great look at. We'll do what we can. There we go. How about that? Randy and Scott get going again. Oh, nice tune going on the jukebox. A little Forrest Frank. Let's see if I got the right score there for George and Joseph. 4-1 George. Got the hot seat match here with Scott racking up. Let's see, George and Joseph, where are they at in the bracket? Let's take a look. This is a 5th, 6th, so winner goes on to play in the 4th place match here between George and Joseph. All right, stay under the 4, take it up table. And if he's flat enough, he can roll up for the 5 in the side. Otherwise, he'll pop out on the other side of the 8. Nope, he's going up that way. All right, some of my Omaha peeps strolling through. Always good to see. Oh, 9-ball on the break. Does not count. So we got George and Joseph here. He did pop out to the other side of the 8. Got the 5. I think he popped out a little too far. Not too far to make it work, just further than what he wanted. Come back 1 rail. Slithers in. 6 is next. All right, nice draw there. Oh, let's see, Randy I think needs to have 4. Let me check that. Yeah, that is 4-3 Randy. A little short on the 8 from George. A little bit on the rail should be fine. George looking for 5-1. All right, George up 5-1. All right, 5-5, Jeremy and Jack. Let me get that updated. Five, 5. Jeremy and Jack. A little bit short for Scott. It does give him an angle to go after that 4. Well, he did get the 4. Did not drop the 3, but looks like he has hidden the 3 from Randy. In a brutal game we call peekaboo. Right, finally. Seen a little bit of a crowd gather around. Should have a crowd. Got some great matches going here. Randy Hansen and Scott Hargins. Oh my gosh, what a tough break. Tough break there for Randy. And Scott on the 3. Looks like he's drawn back for the... Is he trying to carry him here? No. Wanted to make sure to drop under the line so his cue will go about towards the 5 here. Like so. Looks like they finally broke in the George Joseph match, which is now 5-1. George at the table. All right, gonna go around probably the back side of that 9 for the 8. Came in too shallow, needed to drop a little bit deeper. Maybe he does have it. Looks close. Got it in the top side of that pocket. Squeezed it in. This to make it 4-4. Great match so far. As it should be when you're battling for the hot seat. George on the bank. Well, you don't get much closer than that, George. Had the 5 in his sights. That game was his. He was looking at the hill if that drops. Instead, Joseph got a chance here. Tough to get back when the balls are that deep. It is really hard to judge and make sure you have control. Getting to the other end of the table. All right, Randy with the break. One ball was heading a hole, got knocked out, and 2 rolled in the way. Looks like George is still going to get the opportunity to get to the hill here. Wants it to bounce off the rail. And there we go. George, 6-1. Randy kicking at the 1 here. That's a great shot. Great shot from Randy. And that dry break will bring George out of his seat. Did he get him? Looks like he got him. Looks like he got him. Not sure Scott got. If he did, it's just the edge. All right, George at the table, hoping to close it out. Looks like Scott the jump cue. Don't believe he's got to jump over the full. I suspect he's trying to jump and just get the 1 ball down table, bring the cue ball back towards him. Now maybe he is trying to straight up bank this long cross corner. Or just cut it in the side. Incredible. How'd you do it? You don't know. Scott knows. What a great shot. Holy smokes. That's hard to make without a jump from that angle. All right, cinch this here for the 3. 3, 4, 5, all right there. Don't see any issues, just got to finish the job. Oh, Joseph couldn't finish the job on that table against George, bringing him back to the table. See if he plays for the combo. I think this shot leads dropping under the 8-ball. So we'll go 2, possibly 3, but I think 2 rails drop under the 8 for George. He is using the 3rd rail. A little hot, come up a little high. Scott taking care of business on the top table, you see. A little bit flat for Scott. Could just roll forward though, put the 6 in the side. Rolling forward for the 8. Nope, decided to go rail first. Decided to go rail first, but came back too far. Wiped its feet and dropped. Scott now looking at 5-4. Would have liked a little more angle here. See if he draws back and drops short side on the 9. Or just keeps it with some distance, cuts it back to the pocket where he's standing and shooting out of right now. So that's the choices. Draw back, looking for short side. Might be what he's doing. You'd like to draw back a little more clearly. Because now he's kind of got either choice. He can back cut into the top right corner as we see it. All right, George with this 9-ball for the match. Got it. Five, 6 now, Jack over Jeremy on the center table. Looks like Jack is about ready to take care of that. He's at 6. This will make it 7 for Jack. And got it. Jack will move on. Jeremy waiting for the next event. All right, 5-4 Scott over Randy. For the hot seat. Still playing in this Masters 9-ball bracket. George is now moved on to the 4th place match. And George is waiting on several games. So, well, now he's waiting on 2 because Jeremy Jack just finished. So now Jack will be playing Jeremy Black. Winner of that match plays Greg Sheffert. Winner of that match plays George. So with that victory, George bought himself a bit of a break. All right, Scott with the break and the 5-4 lead. Two balls down. A good look at the one to the two. Gonna be tough unless he can really just play pocket speed. Be interesting. Is he gonna go all the way up and back? You can't really hold this, can you? I mean, if you could even hold it level with the side pocket in any kind of a angle at all, it's like kind of what he's looking at now. Can he hold it even there? If you can hold it there, that's definitely worth holding it for. If it's on the rail, that makes it even tougher. Not be hitting the ball first or you're going to knock it off course. Little inside here. All right, he'll take that. I think he's happy with that. Very nicely done there from Scott. 2 to the 3. I mean, you're happy to have a good angle here. Wanted that sharp angle to get from the 2 to the 3. I mean, ideally, ball in hand situation, you're not going this sharp, but this definitely plays. So if you use a little inside and goes between the 9-4. Nope, let it come right back. All right, keeping his sword sharp. Got another one. Where is he wanting to get on that 4 so that he can drop to the 5? Play it off 2 rails here, 1 and 2. Little steeper than he would have liked, but plenty good. He can just come right over, bring the cue ball towards the 8 maybe. Just make sure you're not dropping under the 8.
Hey players, welcome to the 2026 Iowa State Pool Tournament Doubles event. Tonight's event will be Jack and Jill, the open Scotch doubles, and the anything goes. Those are 3 different brackets. All players need to use the Donkey Sport app to see what level of play you are in and to record the match scores. The app will also give you the format and rates for each division.
All right, see what Scott does here. I find this really interesting.
Record your match immediately after finishing. Speed of play depends on you. This is a stacked
Do you run into the 8
people event tonight
to stop some of the speed?
on the ball with scoring. If your opponent is
And try to shoot the gap right between them.
from the start time, go to the
I
control station to have them caged. If you need a referee or need table service, notify the control station.
I think he's trying to come right between them and just bounce off between the 5-8,
Events and payout times are located
about 4 or 5 inches.
The Ioma is offering commemorative jerseys for sale. They're a limited number.
He'll be okay if he hits the rail and then bumps the 8 away as well.
Next
Does
year,
not
the
want to hit
Ioma
under
is
the 8.
celebrating their 40th anniversary of the
Okay,
State
he's
Pool Tournament in
plenty good.
2027.
That plays.
We're gonna be
Great
giving out
shot.
commemorative kids, store prizes, raffles, a whole bunch of exciting stuff planned. So make sure you mark your calendars for that. We will be using CSR for player placement, and team events will be round robin to ensure more play for everyone. You don't want to miss next year, so mark your calendars. For the Scotch doubles, you are going to flip for the break, then alternate after.
Nice shot there, Scott.
Anyone can break on a new game. Anyone can break on a new game. It's a new game. Anyone can break. No coaching, please. Good luck and have fun. Your table assignments and match should be out shortly.
All right, this looks like Scott's game. On the hill, Hargins. Randy with the break. Just needs the next 3. Now, if you look at games 5, 6, and 7, Randy did just that. Matter of fact, it's been a stretch of 3s each way. Randy Hansen began with 1 win. Then Scott got together 3 in a row. Then Randy put together 3 in a row. And now Scott has put together 3 in a row. So if form holds true and Randy gets 3 in a row, that'll give him the match. Got to start with this one right here on the break. All right, we'll just back out that 9 down. Looking at the 1 to the 2. Is that the 2 or the 4? That's the 2, I believe. And then the 3. So if you get good on the 2, you pretty much got game. Try to put this right on the rail so that he can shoot the 2. Or very close to the rail anyway. Nicely done. Great shot. All you got to do on the combo is just pocket the 3, and that 9's dropping. And there it is. Got them both for good measure. Nice quick work there from Randy. 6-5. Pressure swinging back onto Scott. At any point, if he gives up the table, it could be for the last time. This is the Masters division, Scott versus Randy.
This place filled up. I parked 4 blocks away. 4 blocks. Wait. There's no place to park. No. I know. You drove like 10, 15 minutes. And nobody's in the room.
That's why you got the beeper on your car now. That's why you hit the horn. That helps. Talking about parking garages here. Scott here on the hill with the break. He has crushed some breaks. Only seen a couple dry. Does not want that here. Looking to get anything down and a look at the 1, or get the 1 down and a look at the 2. 1 ball's been coming up short of the side so far.
That's him right there looking for you.
All right, he's got 1 down and he's got to look at the 1. 1, 2 up table, 3, 4, 5 down table. A, B, C after that for the match. This is for the hot seat. Scott's put himself in a great spot here. On the hill, Hargins with the lefty stroke, looking to finish it off right here in this game. Should just be playing 1 rail, staying on the outside of that 8 ball, leave it open for the 3. It looks like a touch of an angle to pop to the other side for the 4, in the same corner as the 3. So 5 to the 6, that's the question. The 8 is in just the right spot to make it where you've got to make a shot here. I mean, you can't go for the ideal angle that you would like because of that 8. You got to keep it in a little bit tighter. So I don't know, I think we'll just, I'm not sure what he'll do here. Let's see. I would think I would just maybe drop back a little bit and then just go 1 rail from the 5 to the 6 center table. Not dead center table, obviously. Come up a little more towards the 6, but let's see what he does here. All right. Might have the angle he needs here, just come up 1 rail. He doesn't just want to get too sharp of a back cut where you've got to let that cue ball go. But he doesn't want to flirt with the 8. If he had a little more angle, he might come around the back side of the 8. 2 rails, bottom rail, side rail, pop up between the 8 and the side pocket for the 6. But I think you just stay 1 rail. Don't even let the 8 come into play. If you end up with a sharp back cut, you end up with a sharp back cut. All right, here we go. He's got his mind made up. He did come around 2 rails. And managed to avoid the 8. You can see why that was a concern.
There should be some match and table assignments out.
All right, this should wrap it up for Scott. Nice match.
Kyle White, major at table 36. Kyle White.
And Scott in the hot seat. All right, no matches. There will be some matches shortly. We are going to go ahead and cut the stream and come back and be able to ride out for the rest of the night. We'll be back shortly. Watch for the stream and share it when you do see it come back on. Want to make sure everybody gets back to it.